Good morning, Boker Tov. How are you? It's Tuesday, and you know what that means. It's Torah Tuesday. Yay. And that's a good thing. So, not only is it Tuesday, Torah Tuesday, but tonight is Simchat Torah. Yay. What is Simchat Torah? I'm glad you asked. Okay? Today we're going to talk about Simchat Torah, and we're going to talk about Bereshit, the first parsha of the year. We start it all over again, okay? But first, a bunch of you have asked me, so what is an estrog? Well, here's an estrog, okay? He's like a lemon, but he's bigger, and you see the thing on top? If it comes off, it's no good. Okay, it has to be intact. This is an estrog. Okay, it's a fruit. You don't eat it because it's really icky. But that's what an estrog is, okay? When we take the palm leaves and we do the estrog as part of it, okay? So that's an estrog. I had a bunch of folks said, hey, what is this thing you keep talking about? You know, I don't get it. Well, this is it. Okay, that's an estrog. So, now, let's talk about Simchat Torah. Simchat Torah starts tonight, and what it is we end the Torah in Deuteronomy, and then we start it over again in Bereshit. Okay, we do all this tonight. And if we had a Torah scroll, okay, we would read the end of Deuteronomy, and then we would do either go all the way to the beginning to Bereshit and start over, or what a lot of congregations do is they unroll the Torah. It's so cool to see, okay? Is they unroll the Torah and everybody in the congregation gets to hold it up. Now remember, they can't touch it, the letters. They can only touch the parchment because you can't take your finger and your hands can't touch the letters on a Torah because they're all handwritten by a sofer, by a scribe, and in a special ink made out of animals. Okay, it's all vegan, if you want to call it that. And it's a special plant-based ink on, and it's not paper, it's like lambs. It's really cool. Okay. I will either get my Torah next week, or I will find pictures of what I'm talking about so you can see. And the reason you don't put your finger on there is because you have oil. It's not like it's sacrilegious or whatever. What it is because you have oil in your hands, and you'll mess up the letters. You'll mess up the parchment, okay? And that's not good, okay? So, Simchat Torah, we end it, we begin it, and then we dance around with the Torahs. Yeah, you literally dance around with the Torahs. And we have processions, and we dance around it, and we throw candy. It's a cool thing. It's really neat. Okay, if you've never been to a Simchat Torah celebration, I big time recommend it. Okay, it's really cool. All right, so it's Bereshit. Okay, means in the beginning. Okay, so Bereshit. Oh, today's useless trivia. No, today's trivia is that the Torah begins with Bereshit, with Vav, which is the second letter. Aleph is the first letter, and it ends with a Tav, the last letter, So why doesn't it? Because that's the beginning to the end. Get it? You get with the first. Okay, now if we were doing the first letter of the alphabet, shouldn't it be the A? Well, here's why. Bereshit's where it's written down. Okay, the rabbis teach us that the reason there's no aleph in the beginning is because it represents God, and God can't be restricted to a piece of paper. That because obviously God is so big and God is everything. So aleph is represented is God, so you can't write it down. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's why we start with Bereshit. Okay, here we go. When God began to create heaven and earth, the earth being unformed and void, with darkness over the surface of the deep, and a wind from God sweeping over the water, God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw that light was good, and God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, a first day. Okay, coffee time. So begins our Torah, Bereshit, the story of creation. So what is this light that created on the first day? Okay, the sun and the moon aren't created until the fourth day, so it's not daylight. So what is it? Okay, this light is the foundation or awareness. When God created something from nothing, the darkness, God created the foundation of everything. Now, scientists will point to this and declare that this could be the Big Bang Theory. Something from nothing, the basic fabric of our universe. Now, Hollywood's attempt at explaining this can be summed up in Star Wars' notion of the Force. Think of the first day of creation like an artist's canvas. The artist starts with a blank canvas. Now that we have a foundation, we're aware of what we want to create, and we can start adding or creating to the canvas. Make sense? The second day, God creates the sky and water. The third day, God creates land, seas, and puts vegetation on the land. Now, on the fourth day, God creates the sun and the moon, creating what we know as day and night. The fifth day, God creates the birds and the animals of the seas. It's not until the sixth day that God creates the animals of the land and man and women. 6 days until we're created. 6 days. Okay? God gave us, humanity, the greatest gift of all his creations. He gave us free will or awareness. The apple, well, it's not an apple, or fruit, depending on the translation, is just a symbol of humanity acquiring the ability to think for ourselves, to have some control over our lives and those around us. Now, the translation of apple doesn't work. That's a misnomer. What it most likely was a pomegranate. Think about it. Have you ever opened a pomegranate and counted the seeds? I doubt it, because most people don't have that patience. If you do, and people have, and it's documented, you will find 613 seeds. Where does that number come from? 613. There's 613 mitzvot in the Torah. Coincidence? No. Okay? 613 seeds in a pomegranate. That's why we think the pomegranate plus the translation, we think that's the fruit that they're talking about, not an apple. It's very romantic, but not an apple. Okay? So, we are God's only creation that is responsible for tikkun olam, That means repairer of the world. We were given the gift or responsibility to take care and have some control over our world. So, another misnomer where you'll hear people say, well, God gave us the world and it's ours to do what we want. It's not ours, it's God's. And Tikkun Olam says we have the responsibility because we think we got a brain. Well, everybody's got a brain, every animal. But we were given the free thought and awareness. So it's our job, not a donkey, not an aardvark, not a grizzly bear. It's our responsibility, human beings, to take care of God's world. Not use it up. It's not for ours to go, oh, I'll do whatever I want, okay? No. It's our responsibility to take care of his world, okay? Repair of the world, Tikkun Olam. Okay? Okay. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I will see you next week for Torah Tuesday. Have a good Shabbat. Have a wonderful Simchat Torah tonight. Have a good Shabbat, and I'll see you here next Tuesday for Torah Tuesday. Okay? Okay. Peace out.